comes a moment in every person's life when they feel the urge to defend themselves. Perhaps someone misunderstood your intention, questioned your character, or twisted your words into shapes you never intended. And almost immediately a reflex rises in your chest that says, explain yourself, prove yourself, justify yourself. But what if this impulse, this instinct to defend who you are, is precisely the thing that keeps you tangled in unnecessary conflict? What if the deeper strength lies not in defense, but in something far more powerful, far more liberating? You see, when you defend yourself, you are subtly accepting the premise that another person's judgment has authority over your reality. You are, in a sense, surrendering your inner peace to someone else's misunderstanding. But imagine a different kind of response, one that is not born from resistance, but from awareness. A response that does not rise to prove anything, but rather stands grounded in the quiet knowing of who you are. When you embrace this, something extraordinary happens. You stop playing the game that others invite you into. People often misunderstand this idea. They think that not defending yourself means being weak, passive, or indifferent. But the opposite is true. It requires great inner strength to remain calm when someone tries to pull you into a storm. It requires deep confidence to let go of the urge to explain your every move. It requires clarity to understand that truth does not need to be shouted or justified. It simply is. And in that clarity you discover something profound. Your peace is more valuable than winning an argument. There is an ancient wisdom in allowing misunderstandings to pass without resistance. When someone criticizes you unfairly or assumes something false, your silence does not mean agreement. It means you refuse to spend your life constantly repairing the image that exists only in someone else's mind. You are not here to manage perceptions. You are here to live your truth. And the more you understand this, the freer you become. Consider the river. It does not defend its flow when stones lie in its path. It does not debate with obstacles. It moves with a graceful certainty around them. The river never stops to argue, yet it always reaches the ocean. People think strength is the ability to push back, but sometimes the greatest strength is the ability to move forward untouched. When you live like this, you no longer waste your energy in battles that do not matter. To truly rise above the need to defend yourself, you must shift your attention from being understood to being authentic. The desire to be understood often comes from a fear of being judged, fear of being perceived wrongly, fear of losing control. But authenticity comes from freedom. When you act from freedom, you live as you are, without bending yourself into shapes to satisfy the stories others create about you. Understand this deeply. People are not really seeing you. They are seeing the reflection of their own beliefs, their own insecurities, their own projections. They are interpreting you through the lens of their inner world. So how could you ever fully correct their perception? You cannot control the lens through which someone else sees life. All you can control is whether you remain at peace within yourself. If someone accuses you unfairly or expects you to justify your existence, try something different. Instead of defending yourself, breathe. Let their words pass through you like wine through an open window. Notice that the moment you choose not to enter the battlefield, the battle collapses. Conflict requires two participants. The moment one steps away, the game ends. Even in silence, truth finds its way. Life has a mysterious way of revealing what is real and exposing what is false. Time has a way of bringing clarity. You don't have to rush to correct every misunderstanding. You don't have to chase every rumor. You don't have to fix every distorted narrative about you. Those who need to know the truth will come to know it. Those who refuse to see the truth are not your responsibility. The most powerful response you can give to criticism is not defense. It is elevation. It is living in such a way that your actions become your voice, your integrity becomes your shield, and your consistency becomes your evidence. When you stop defending yourself and start embodying your truth, you rise above the noise. Because noise cannot touch the person who is rooted in their own center. There is profound strength in choosing your peace over your pride. Pride wants to be right. Pride wants to be admired. Pride wants to win. But peace wants nothing. Peace simply is. And when you choose peace, you stop participating in unnecessary drama. You stop reacting to every opinion thrown your way. You stop giving power to every voice that tries to shake you. Do not misunderstand. This does not mean you never speak up when needed. There will be moments when clarity is necessary, when your voice is required. But these moments are rare. Most battles of ego collapse the moment you withdraw your participation. And when you do, you begin to notice how much of your suffering came not from what others thought, but from your attempt to control what they thought. You are not here to explain the depth of your heart to those who have chosen shallow interpretations. You are not here to convince someone of your worth. Your worth is not up for debate. It is not a courtroom case. It is not something the world grants you. It is something you carry inherently. And no misunderstanding, no rumor, no judgment can diminish it. Think back to all the times you defended yourself in the past. Did it truly change the mind of the person who doubted you? Or did it simply drain your energy while their opinion remained the same? People rarely hear what you say when they have already decided what they want to believe. So why spend your life trying to rewrite the script in their mind? Let them keep their story. You live your truth. When you stop defending yourself, you also stop being triggered by the opinions of others. Their words lose power over you. You are no longer afraid of being misunderstood. You no longer fear false assumptions. You no longer depend on validation to feel secure. Instead, your security comes from your alignment with your own inner being. And that is a strength no one can take away. There is a beautiful freedom in realizing you do not need to be seen as perfect. You do not need to be liked by everyone. You do not need to be understood by everyone. You only need to be true to yourself. When you embrace this, every part of your life becomes lighter. You walk differently. You breathe differently. You carry yourself with a quiet confidence that does not need applause. Do not waste your time defending your past. The person you once were is not the person you are now. Growth means transformation, and transformation means letting go of old versions of yourself. You do not owe anyone an explanation for who you have become. You do not owe anyone a justification for the changes you've made. Let your new life speak for itself, and do not defend your dreams either. People will doubt what they cannot envision. Your dreams belong to you, not to their limitations. If you feel called to something, trust that call. You do not need permission. You do not need approval. You do not need to convince anyone why you are choosing the path you are on. The path is yours, and you walk it for yourself. Likewise, do not defend your boundaries. A boundary is not a wall around your heart. It is a doorway to your peace. And anyone who pressures you to explain your boundaries is showing you why those boundaries are necessary. You do not need to justify taking care of yourself. You do not need to apologize for protecting your energy. Your well-being is reason enough. When you stop defending yourself, you start listening more deeply. You begin to recognize which voices matter and which do not. Not every comment requires your attention. Not every disagreement requires your involvement. Not every misunderstanding requires your intervention. You learn to choose your battles. And eventually you learn that most battles are simply illusions created by the mind. Imagine for a moment how light your life would feel if you no longer carried the burden of constant explanation. Imagine how much energy you would reclaim if you simply allowed people to think what they think. Imagine how peaceful your days would become if you focused only on what truly matters, your purpose, your growth, your joy. There is a quiet rebellion in choosing not to defend yourself. It is the rebellion of refusing to live your life according to the perceptions of others. It is the rebellion of reclaiming your inner authority. It is the rebellion of standing firmly in your truth without needing anyone else to validate it. When you embody this, your presence speaks for you. Your calmness speaks for you. Your consistency speaks for you. Your growth speaks for you. Your alignment speaks for you. People begin to notice, not because you argued, but because you stayed true to yourself, even when pressured to explain. Your silence becomes your strength. Not the silence of fear or avoidance, but the silence of inner knowing. The silence that comes from recognizing that your spirit does not need a courtroom. The silence that understands truth is not something to be defended, it is something to be lived. There will always be people who misunderstand you. There will always be people who judge without knowing. There will always be people who speak without understanding. Let them. Their words cannot touch the essence of who you are. The only thing that can disturb your peace is your decision to engage in battles that were never meant for you. Instead of defending yourself, choose this. Stay committed to your growth. Let your actions build your character. Let your consistency reveal your truth. Let your silence protect your energy. Let your peace become your response. Let your life speak for you, and trust that the people meant for you will see you, not because you defended yourself, but because your authenticity needed no explanation. There is an extraordinary shift that happens inside you when you realize that defending yourself is simply another form of resistance. And resistance, by its nature, binds you to the very thing you wish to be free from. The more you resist an accusation, the more you reinforce it. The more you try to correct an assumption, the more power you give to the person making it. But the moment you choose a different approach, one grounded in awareness and inner stillness, you discover a freedom that does not depend on anyone else's understanding. It is in this stillness that true strength arises, not the loud, assertive strength that tries to dominate, convince, or conquer, but a gentle, grounded strength that radiates from deep within. This kind of strength cannot be taken away, because it is not built on external validation. It is built on presence. It is built on clarity. It is built on the understanding that no one can truly define you except yourself. Think of how many times in your life you have tried to defend your intentions. You explained why you said something a certain way, why you made a particular decision, why you behaved differently from what others expected. And yet, no matter how carefully you explained yourself, there were always people who interpreted your explanation through their own biases. Some heard only what they wanted to hear. Others dismissed your words entirely. Their minds were already made up long before you spoke, and so you learned, perhaps slowly, that the attempt to correct every misunderstanding is endless. It has no finish line. It is a cycle that keeps you emotionally exhausted, mentally drained, and spiritually disconnected. Every explanation becomes an invitation for more questions, more doubts, more demands for justification. And in this game, you lose, not because you are wrong, but because you are giving away your inner peace, piece by piece. But imagine for a moment how different your life becomes when you realize you can simply stop. You can step out of the cycle entirely. Someone accuses you, you breathe. Someone judges you, you stay centered. Someone misunderstands your motives, you allow it without resistance. Not because you are weak, but because you understand something they do not. Your peace matters more than their opinion. In that moment of choosing peace, you break the invisible chain that links your worth to someone else's perception. You reclaim your inner authority. You discover that the real victory is not winning an argument, it is rising above it. There is a beautiful paradox here. When you stop trying to defend who you are, people begin to see you more clearly. They sense your calmness, your groundedness, your refusal to be pulled into unnecessary